Okay. Good morning, students. Am I audible? Okay. So I think you are aware of this, right? So you'll be having the internals on 9th, 10th, and 11th. Okay. Uh, for the internals, regarding the assignment, actually yesterday I have seen what ma'am have done is she have copy pasted into the word. Okay. So if they copy paste, what will happen is that symbols and all it will be converted into some other format. So what I have done is since I have not completed that second part of the module, okay. So I have just simplified the questions, whatever the 12 questions is there. So I have just modified them. And I think, have you received the notes? Actually, ma'am have sent even the module 3 notes. Have you received it? Okay. So I have altered the questions. So what, based on whatever the questions, whatever the problems that is there in the notes only, I have given the questions. Okay. One more thing. In the assignment, few topics I have not covered. So first, let me quickly finish. Okay, okay students, have you received the module 3 notes? Have you received the DMS module 3 notes? Okay. Okay. What I will do is after this class, I will send for the CR. Okay. So I request CR to share the notes with all. Okay. So I'll share the notes. Okay. So I'll just continue with the previous topic where we have left. So previously we have discussed about the invertible functions, right? So after that we have discussed even one theorem on that. So next topic is types of the functions. This is very important. Okay. So today I'll just cover the problems on types of functions. So the theorems on this, the theorems, and then the last topic is pigeonhole principle. Okay. So these two topics, what I will do is I will cover after the internals. Fine. So, and one more thing, they are telling like from 17th onwards, the classes will be there offline. Okay. So if the classes starts, then we will not have any issues. It will be easy for me to teach. Fine. So, okay. Anyhow, regarding the types of functions, basically we have in our syllabus, explicitly they have specified about two types of functions. 1 minute, I'll just start recording. Okay. So basically, you have two types of functions. One is a one-to-one function, one-to-one function, and the another one is on-to function. Okay. So before I go into one-to-one function, let me just revise you what a function is. Okay. So in the previous class, I have told you, right, what a function is. I can call a relation as a function if it satisfies a condition. What is that condition? The condition is very simple. Assume that f is a relation. If I have to call this f a relation as a function also, every element of the domain, this is called as a domain, right? And whereas this is called as codomain, right? So every element in the domain, it must have an image. It must have an image, right? And it must have a unique image. Something like, say, for example, this is the element 1, 2, 3, and these are the elements A, B, C. Something like when I apply the function f, when I apply the relation f on when I apply the relation f on 1, it leads to A. There should not be any ambiguity. There should not be any ambiguity. Like it should also lead to B. So such kind of things should not be there. There should not be any ambiguity. And every pre-image must have an image. So then I can call this relation as a function, right? So this much we are clear. So after this, we know about a function now. Now let me teach you what is a one-to-one function. Okay. So if I impose few more conditions on this, so we will get one-to-one function. For the one-to-one function, the condition is very simple. See, actually, this concept is very simple, but you have to understand this in depth. Okay. Then only you can understand the theorem parts and all. Okay. So I have written a simple arrow diagram. Let me name the elements as, say, for example, so this is the function A. Suppose for the one-to-one function, the condition is very simple. Suppose if I had the elements like this, okay. So now if I had the relationship like this, now I want you to answer. Students, please tell me, is it a function or not? Is whatever the diagram that I have written, is it a function or not? Yeah, it is a function. Okay, many to one function, one to many function, that is a different thing. But it is a function, right? Because every element is having an image of it, right? But this is not called as a one-to-one function because for a pre-image you are having the image. But the thing is, for every image you don't have a unique pre-image. When you consider the second element has two pre-images. That is, first one is this, and the second one is this. Okay, so if this kind of condition doesn't exist, if every image have a unique pre-image, in that kind of situation we call this as a one-to-one function. Suppose if I draw like this, and if I put one more element here, so now answer me, students. Is it one-to-one function now based on whatever the condition that I have spoken? The condition that I have told is very simple. Every pre-image must have a unique image, and also every image must have a unique pre-image. In other words, every element in the domain should have a unique unique image in the codomain, and every codomain should have a unique pre-image. So now, will you agree that this is the one-to-one function? It is not a one-to-one function. Okay. So Kavya, you are telling it is not a one-to-one function. May I know the reason? Yeah. Actually, based on the definition, what I have told, I just alter that. What I have told is every image must have a unique pre-image. That is fine. But the thing is, if it exists, then it has to be unique. For example, this has a pre-image here. This has pre-image here. This has pre-image here. This doesn't have pre-image, but it won't matter. Okay. If the pre-image exists, then it has to be unique. Suppose if the pre-image is this one for this element, then I cannot call this as a one-to-one function. Okay. Yes, Kavya, actually, so with this slight modification in the definition, is it clear now? Okay. Okay. So based on this, now I just want you to make one more observation here. This is very, very important. Okay. So based on whatever the concept that I told you now, so can you guess the relation between the number of elements in the domain and the number of elements in the codomain? For example, this is the set A and this is the set B. Set B. Okay. So listen to this carefully, students. So this is the set A and this is the set B. Okay. With respect to the number of elements in the set A, so let me call number of elements in the set A as M. Okay. And let me call number of elements in the set B as N. Okay. So now based on the definition, okay, voice is breaking. Yes, Angadi, the problem is today I forgot to bring the Bluetooth. Is it very much bad? Can I continue? Okay. So what I have done is now the number of elements in the set A, that is domain, I have taken as M, and the number of elements in the set B, that is codomain, I have taken as N. Based on the definition that I have told for one-to-one functions, students, you just tell me what is the relation between the number of elements in the domain and number of elements in the codomain, which will be greater and which will be smaller. if I have to satisfy the condition for one-to-one function, so the number of elements in domain should be more, or number of elements in the codomain should be more. So you have to answer me, tell me. Yes, exactly, Kavya. What you have told is correct. The n value should be greater, or else it will be even equal also. Because in this example, suppose if I remove this element, even though this is a one-to-one function, right? So either the number of elements in the codomain should be more, or it must be equal, but it cannot be less than the number of elements in the domain. Okay. So I think you have understood this, right? Now, one more important thing I'll tell you. So we know how to find the total number of functions, right? The total number of functions from set A to set B. This is given by the formula number of elements in the set B to the power of number of elements in the set A. Correct, right? So I have already told you about this formula. So similar to this, we can also find the total number of one-to-one functions and the total number of on-to functions. For this, the formula is this one. Okay, so number of one-to-one functions, from set A to set B. This is given by the formula n factorial divided by n minus of m factorial. Okay, so this formula is very important, but you must be very careful in the exam. Before you apply this formula and calculate the number of one-to-one functions, first of all, you need to check for this condition. Only if this condition satisfies, then only one-to-one function exists, and then you can calculate the total number of one-to-one functions. In exam, what students will do is, usually they will be knowing the values for m and n. Simply they will apply the formula and they will tell the answer. But you have to apply this formula only when the m value is less than or equal to n. Otherwise, you have to tell the one-to-one functions does not exist in the given relation, in the given function or given relation. You have to tell like that. Okay, so this is very much important. And one more important point I'll tell you. So in order to solve the theorems, okay, so just for the sake of the theorems, I will give the mathematical definitions definition for this one-to-one function. Okay, this mathematical definition tells in this way. See, actually, it's very simple. I will just take the same example that I have told for you in the previous class. Okay, so same thing. Okay, something like okay. So I'm just finding the best friend relationship. When I'm finding the best friend relationship, say for example, for Anil, the best friend is, so assume this is Sumant. Okay, so for Anil, the best friend is Sumant, and also for Kumar, the best friend is Sumant. Okay, so if this kind of condition exists, we cannot call this as a one-to-one function, because for a single pre-image, we have two, for two pre-images, we have the same images. This can't be called. Okay, so if this kind of condition exists, we can tell that Anil and Kumar are same. In other words, what I'm trying to tell is, suppose I'll just give one more example here. Suppose we have the elements like this. This is the element A1, this is the element A2. If they are mapping to the same image B, then I can take A1 and A2 as a same. If I could take A1 and A2 as a same element, then I can call this as a one-to-one function. See, actually, this cannot be called as a one-to-one function, right? Because for this single image, we are having two pre-images. Suppose, in case if this A1 and A2 are equal, I can replace this with any one element. Either I can write here A1 or A2. So now I have given a single relationship. In this case, now I can call this as a one-to-one function. In other words, so instead of writing Anil and Kumar separately, what I will do is I will just write single name. Say for example, Anil Kumar, and I will write a single relation. Okay. So now this can be called as one-to-one function. Okay. So I think this is clear for you. If you don't understand also, no need to worry. Just you have to remember this mathematical definition. It's very important for the theorem's sake. You have to remember this. Okay. So the mathematical definition for one-to-one function is, if in case f of A1 is equal to f of A2. Okay. If in case f of A1 is equal to f of A2, sorry, f of A2, then I can conclude that A1 is equal to A2. So this is the mathematical definition for one-to-one function. Okay, students, totally in this types of functions concept, we have 6 theorems. Okay, all the theorems are very, very easy. But the only thing is you have to understand the mathematical definition of one-to-one function, on-to function. If you and one more thing, bijective function, that I will tell later. Okay, so if you understand this correctly, you can solve any theorem. All these 6 theorems will be very easy for you. Okay, so after the internals, I will teach you those theorems. But anyhow, so if you have to understand those theorems correctly, you have to understand this mathematical definition. So 3 important things, students. First thing is, when can I call a function as a one-to-one function? I think that concept you have understood. And the second thing is, in the exam, they will ask you to find the total number of one-to-one functions. As I have told you, you have to remember the formula. But before you apply the formula, you need to check for the condition between the number of elements in the domain and the number of elements in the codomain. And usually, in the exam, the examiner, he will try to confuse you. Okay, so he will give you from set B to set A. Suppose if he gives in the question from set B to set A, so here usually students, what they will do is they will think that always A as a domain and set B as a codomain. But no, if they give the function from B to A, in this case the domain will be set B and the codomain will be set A. So here then we have to take this as M and this as N. Okay, so those kind of things you have to be very, very careful. So I will solve one problem. If I solve that, the things will be very clear for you. So as I have told you, before you apply the formula, you need to check for this condition. That is very much important. Okay, and after that, this mathematical definition you have to understand. Suppose if the function of A1 and function of A2 leads to the same image, then I can tell that these pre-images A1 and A2 are same. You have to remember this definition. Okay, so is it clear, students? Can I go with the next type of function? Okay, very good. Sorry, I forgot to bring the Bluetooth today. Okay. So now you are clear with the functions, one-to-one function. So the next thing is on-to function. This is also very important. On-to function. Okay. So what is the condition for this? The condition for on-to function is, again, very simple. I'll just write the diagram first. Suppose if I have the elements like this. Okay, so here, first I will tell you the definition. The definition is very simple. I repeat, every image must have a pre-image. That's all. A function is also called as an onto function if every image has a pre-image. That's all, no other condition. Okay, so I have not told you whether it has to be unique or something like that, but the thing is every image must have a pre-image. So based on this, suppose if I write like this, let me take one more element and say, for example, you have like this. Students, now answer me, is it a one-to-one function? First of all, is it a function? Yes, it is a function. And is it one-to-one function? Is it one-to-one function? No, it is not one-to-one function because this image has 2 pre-images. Okay, so this is not one-to-one function. Now, is it on-to function? Is it on-to function? Yes, exactly. It is on-to function because all the images has a pre-image, right? So suppose if I put one more element here. So now students, you just answer me. Is it on-to function? No. So if I put one more element here, it is not on-to function. Okay. So now, fine. So based on this, directly I will ask you. So now can you tell the relation, say for example, this I will take as a set A and this I will take as set B. So here the domain is A and the codomain is B. And I will take the domain elements as M and the codomain elements as N. So now students, you just tell me the relation between the number of elements in the domain and the number of elements in the codomain. Which one should be greater and which one should be smaller? In case of onto function. In case of onto function, which one will be greater? Yes, exactly. This will be either greater or it will be even sometimes it will be equal also. Okay. So before you apply the formula for this onto function, you have to check for this condition. Okay. And in order to find the total number of onto functions, so you have to apply the formula, that is Stirling number of second kind. Okay, so this is the formula that you need to apply. The formula is given by the number of elements is just a minute. The formula is given by P of m comma n is equal to 1 by n into summation of k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 whole to the power of n, nc n minus k into n minus k whole to the power of m. Okay, so this is the formula. In order to find the total number of onto functions, so you have to apply this formula. Okay, yeah, I know that this formula, it looks a little bit complicated, but you have to remember this. Okay, so once if you remember this, you can calculate the total number of onto functions. But before you apply this formula, the very important thing is, first of all, you have to check for this condition. Okay, so that is very much important. And one more thing is the mathematical definition for this. So for the sake of theorems, so you have to remember this mathematical definition. The mathematical definition, before I tell that, I'll just go through this example again. What this tells, for every element that belongs to the codomain, there exists an element in the domain such that when you apply the function on that, it leads to that element. Okay, so whatever I have told now, I will try to write it mathematically. So it tells that for every element, say for example, the element name is B that belongs to the set B, there exists an element A that belongs to the set A such that when you apply the function f on that element, it gives the element B. So this is the mathematical definition for onto function. Again, three things, students. The first thing is the definition for onto function, and the second thing is the mathematical formula, how to find the total number of onto functions, and then mathematical definition, and then the formula to find the total number of onto functions. I think it's getting stuck. Okay. Is it visible, students, clearly? Okay. So now is the concept clear for you? Okay. So now I think both one-to-one function and onto function, the concepts are clear for you. One last thing. Okay. Suppose if I have the arrow diagram like this, and assume these are the elements. Okay. Students, now just carefully observe the diagram and tell me, is it one-to-one function or onto function? Is it one-to-one function or onto function? Exactly. So the answer is both. If it is both one-to-one function and onto function, it is called as one-to-one correspondence. Or in other words, it is called as bijective function. Okay. So a function which satisfies both one-to-one and onto correspondence, one-to-one and onto function is called as bijective function. And the mathematical definition for this, you have to write both. Okay. So the first thing I have written, right, if f of a1 is equal to f of a2, then a1 is equal to a2. And for every element B that belongs to set B, there exists an element A that belongs to the domain such that when you apply the function on that, it leads to the image. Okay. So I think all these concepts you have understood well. So when I teach you the theorems, you have to remember this. Okay. So now I'll just solve on some simple problems. So I'll just take your assignment question only. So in the assignment, that is question number 6. Okay. So the question number 6, what I have given is the number of elements in set A. 1, 2, I don't know whether I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or A, B, C, D, something. Okay. It doesn't matter anyhow. So all I need is just the count. Okay. So I'll take this as A, B, C, D. Fine. So now this is the question. He has given the number of elements in the domain. So this is the domain and this is the codomain. And now the first question is find the number of functions. number of functions from A to B, and then you have to find the onto functions and then one-to-one functions. Okay, so for this first sub question, okay, so let me write the solution. So the solution is very simple. If I have to find the total number of functions, so the number of functions, you already know the formula. The total number of functions from A to B, this is given by number of elements in the B to the power of number of elements in the A. We already know the number of elements in the B and the number of elements in the A, right? So what is the total number of elements in sec B, which I will take as M, that is equal to 4. Okay, so let me take it as N. Anyhow, this is codomain, right? And then the number of elements in the set A, I will take this as M, and that is equal to 6. Okay, so now based on this, the formula, the answer will be equal to 4 to the power of 6. Correct, right? So next question is number of onto functions. So number of onto functions. So students, you should only answer me. So what is the condition before I apply the formula? Before I apply the formula, what is the condition for onto function? What is the condition for onto function? M value should be greater than or equal to N. So here the condition is satisfied, right? M value is greater than or equal to N. This condition is satisfied. So now you can apply the formula. So that is given by P of 6, 4 is equal to 1 divided by N, that is 4, into summation of K is equal to 0 to N minus 1 4 to the power of N NC N minus K into N minus K whole to the power of M. Okay. So you have to apply this formula. Anyhow, this kind of problems anyhow I have given in the notes. Okay, so it's very simple. I think you know how to extend the summation formula, right? So this will be equal to 1 divided by 4, and then K will take the values from 0 to 4. Okay, so first time you have to apply the K value as 0. Next you have to apply the K value as 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever the terms you get, all the terms you need to add, and finally whatever the answer you get, that will be equal to the total number of onto functions. Okay, so the solution for this, I will share the notes for you. Okay, so you can just refer that. Next, the total number of one-to-one functions. Okay, students, now you only answer me. How many one-to-one functions? Is it first of all possible? Based on the condition, whatever he has given, is it possible to find the total number of one-to-one functions here? No. Yes. Students, what they will do is usually they will know the formula n factorial divided by n minus of m factorial. They know the value of n and m. Simply they will substitute and they will calculate. But no, here one-to-one functions is not possible, because the reason is because m value is greater than or equal to n. Therefore, it is not possible. Understood, right? Okay. So similarly, in the same question, I have given one more sub question, and the sub question is very simple. I have changed only one thing: number of functions from B to A. Okay, so here you have to be very careful. This time, the m and n value will be, so which is the m always I will take as domain. Okay, so here the domain is B, codomain is A. So this time m value will be equal to 4 and n value will be equal to 6. You have to be very careful with that. Okay, so that is the first thing you have to be careful. So after that, the total number of functions remaining, I think easily you can solve the number of functions from A to B. This will be equal to, sorry, this time it is B to A, sorry, B to A. This will be equal to number of elements in the set A to the power of number of elements in the set B, that is equal to 4 to the power of, sorry, so that will be equal to 6 to the power of 4. Correct, right? So next, this time the number of one-to-one functions. Okay, students. So is it possible number of one-to-one functions in this condition? Is the number of one-to-one functions possible? Yes, exactly, it is possible, because the number of elements in the codomain is more. Okay, so the formula is given by n factorial divided by n minus of m factorial. So that will be equal to 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial, right? In the exam, actually, don't worry about this final answer. Just if you put these kind of values also, it's somewhat okay, because hardly there will be 1 mark for each and every sub question. What he will do is he will just look at the formula, whether you have written it correctly or not. Okay, if you have time, you can just give the final answer. No issues. Or even if you keep the answer as 6 to the power of 4 also, it's sufficient. No need to worry. Okay. Next coming to I think someone has switched on the mic. So, okay, coming to the total number of onto functions. Okay, students, you just answer me. Is it possible to find the total number of onto functions here? No, it's not possible because, so here the number of elements in the codomain are more. So it's not possible, right? So I think you have understood, right, students? So in the exam, you have to be very careful. So what he will do is he will try to confuse you between the number of elements in the domain and codomain, but you have to check whether the author is asking the function from A to B or B to A. Okay. Based on that, first of all, you have to fix what is domain and what is codomain. Then you have to check for the condition, whether the number of elements in the domain is more or codomain is more. So based on that, you have to correspondingly apply the formulas for one-to-one and onto functions, right? So in the next class, what I will do is I will start with the theorems. After the theorems, I will start pigeonhole principle. Hardly both will take in one class, both I can finish, right? So after the internals in one class, I will complete the module 3. As I have told you, out of all the 5 modules, this module number 3 is the one of the biggest module. Remaining modules, actually, it won't take much time as this one. Okay, so one of the biggest module we have completed. So on module 1 also we have almost completed, but I think on the rules of inferences, we have not solved much problems. Okay, so we need to solve even more problems on that. Fine. And I told you, right, regarding the assignment, within 10 minutes, I'll just send you. Okay, so I have just simplified the questions. Okay, and the formulas and all, the symbols and all I have changed. I have simplified it, and I have made sure that whatever the questions that I'm sending, it is there in the notes also. I'm telling with respect to module number 3. Whereas in the module 1, I think it will be available in the textbook only. No need to worry. So what I want you to do is take time. Okay, so today you just take time and try to solve it. If you have any doubts in that assignment, definitely within evening or tomorrow morning, you just text me. So Thursday, tomorrow, we have the class at 2 o'clock, right? If you have any questions in that assignment, definitely I will solve that. Any question you can ask, I'll just solve 2 o'clock class. Fine. But before that, you have to try once. Fine. Is it okay, students? Or if you are finding even difficult with that, no issues, you can just text me. So I will send the solutions for all the 12 questions, no issues. Okay. So the first thing what you have to do is today you have to try with the questions, whatever the new questions that I'm sending. I have not altered all the questions. Few questions I have changed. Okay, so wherever the problem exists, so I have just altered that, and I have tried to make the questions very simple. Okay, so ma'am have given some 3 sub questions like that. So I just converted into 2 sub questions because I cannot give the same weightage because the time will be less, right, for internals. So I cannot give more questions. So please try it today. If you have any doubts, you just text me. So tomorrow in the Thursday class, I will solve it. Or if you need the complete solutions also, I will give, no issues. Okay. So today's topic, I think you have understood, right? If you have any doubts, you can ask. Or if you don't have any doubts, you can log out. Fine. And I will send the assignment and notes. Okay, so both I will send for CR today. So now only I will send. So she had to share with all the other students.